Hello, my friends. Oh my goodness, it has been a minute. Life has been busy. I am excited to be back. My name is AJ the Joy Weaver. Ooh, maybe I'll make this the start of season 2. Oh yeah, actually, that feels very true. Welcome to season 2 of the Oh My Goodness podcast with me, your host, AJ Smith, the Joy Weaver. This season, because I have updates, y'all. Oh, I have such gorgeous updates. Spring was wild. We're going to dive into joy and why we're choosing it, but I want to give you context for what has happened in the last 2 months. It's a lot. Okay, so first, April, I went to Knutepunkt, which I think you've heard me talk about, and it was wild. Last year when I went, it felt so expansive and opening and like, oh my gosh, there's so many other people playing and making beautiful things in the world and space. And I just felt not alone in this work of play and joy. And I know there's people doing amazing work. I'm actually, y'all, I'm going to have some guests on soon that are at the top of their field doing, just the most magical things. I'm so delighted I cannot wait. Okay. So that's coming. But sometimes, and you know how it is, maybe you're like, am I the only one who's like thinking about this way? Or am I the only one? And sometimes you have online people, but then in person, you have some groups, but not as many. And so sometimes you might question yourself or be like, I know I'm onto something here, but we're tracking, right? Like this is the good stuff. So that's where I kind of was last year. Where before I went to KP was, hey, this is my field of learning and play and this intersection of embodiment and immersive experiences and how that changes us, right? Whether that's through coaching or LARPing or retreats, events, workshops, we're all just touching the elephant in different ways, right? So that said, it was amazing. So this year when it rolled around, I was doubly excited and I was able to submit some talks and some things for both the EduLARP conference and Knutepunkt. And so at Knutepunkt, I talked about Rituals That Flourish, which is a podcast episode I re-recorded for that. So if you weren't at KP, you could hear it and hear the talk I gave. And then the EduLARP talk I gave about embodied presence, I will be recording that so it can go here on the podcast as well. But there was so much double stamping this year of my work. Of this last year, I have been showing up more powerfully, more not intensely, but like intentionally, unapologetically with joy, who I am, my business is, that I'm here to serve you. And sometimes that looks like an energetic exchange. Sometimes that looks like a monetary exchange. That I'm here to live life. And for those who want to run alongside me, let's go. Right. And so that's been cool of just taking up more space. I also last year hit the 4th year of my sobriety. And so that kind of opened up some more space and put some more ground beneath my feet. Next month, I will, God willing, hit 5 years sobriety. And at some point, I might record a podcast episode about it. Because man, that was a whole situation and journey. But I am more clear than I've ever been. And KP and the conversations I had this year were the resounding thing was, this is your work is what we need in the world. You are doing the things. And I was just like, yes. And then I got back, had one day where I did fairy work. And then the next day flew out to Florida for the Meant for Magic conference, which was led by Andrea Franco and was exquisite on multiple levels. I don't even know if I have entirely words. I was with some red bottom ladies, if you know what I mean, red shoe bottoms, of women who are at the top of their field, high class, but not like high class fancy. I mean, yes, that too, but like running their businesses with integrity and unapologetic magic of who they are, what they have to offer. And they were bringing their full selves to the table, because sometimes if you're in the coaching industry or, realtors, maybe this is different industry to industry, but when I was kind of coming in, there was a lot of focus on like luxury and perfection and clean lines, tan colors, which is some people's joy. It's just not mine. And I honestly questioned, like, I love thrift shops and Ren fairs and glitter. You collect bags. I collect glitter and travel. And so I wondered, like, do I belong here? Do people want play and joy? But this is what's on my heart. This is what I want to share. I want to help people remember who they are in alignment with their higher power. Like, can I sit here? And through the years, I've learned, yes, I can. And also that my soul, the work I've been created to do, is exactly what this world needs at this moment, right? And that's true for everybody's soul, right? What is on our hearts is not on other people's hearts. Like, our expression of that is needed. It's needed. It's needed. And so I like literally brought my face sparkles, right? My face glitter. And I brought, like, at KP, I wore my gold freckles every day. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was so much fun. It was delightful. And it just sparked so much goodness. And then at the Meant for Magic, I ran out. But B, I just brought my regular face sparkles. I was like, maybe just a little bit of fun. And I was like, I don't know if is it going to be too much? And my roommate, Desiree, who she will also be on the podcast, was like, too much for who? For who? And I was like, the normal people. And she's like, AJ, no, like, A, this room is full of women who are showing full up and full out, and we want you to do the same. And B, the normal people either want the glitter or they don't want the glitter, but that's not who you're serving anyways. Like, your people are the ones who want to wear the sparkles, or who enjoy the sparkles on occasion, or who know that there's something more to life, but they can't quite put their finger on it. It's not the people who just like things exactly as they are. And if you're wearing glitter for them, why? And I was like, I had never thought about that way. And so I wore my glitter. I ended up glittering 2/3 of that conference. People who spoke on stage, keynote speakers, had glitter on their faces from me. People were coming up and they're like, are you the sparkle lady? And I'm like, hi, yes, I'm AJ the Joy. We're at your service. And so I say all this to say, I am invigorated. I am invigorated. And my soul remembers. It has been double stamped. I have had conversations that have just blown me away. Clients are thriving and remembering and like excelling in multiple realms of relationships and business. And it's just magic. It's just magic. And today is the second day of the Absurdist Delight Joy Challenge. Absurdist Delight Summer of Reckless Joy. I ran a joy challenge in September, and this started as a challenge in my brain. So it's like the summer challenge of joy. But for me, this is about, I was like, what if I wore my face freckles, my gold freckles, and my elf ears every day for a month? What would happen? What would happen? So here's what happened on day one. I was in Colorado. We needed to take a flight back. This was not wedding day. This is the day after my niece got married. And my elf ears were in my bag. And I was like, today's day one. I said I was going to wear these for 30 days, but like, we're traveling. We're going to be on an airplane. I don't want to wear my glitter and elf ears on an airplane. That's a bit much. Like, that actually is around a lot of people. And like, I don't know if I want to deal with that. Turns out I didn't pack my spirit gum, my spirit glue for my ears. So I didn't have to worry about it. I was like, look, release. And then I was like, you know what? I said I was going to do this literally because of this. Yeah, well, it's not the right timing. And like, well, what if other people think that's weird? Like, literally, that's why we made Absurdist Delight, to be like, fuck it, why not? We need it. Right? And I was like, oh my God, I have to actually walk my talk. What is this? And so I had some face sparkles. Don't worry, for those who are like, oh my God, you wore glitter on an airplane. It was eye makeup that did not transfer. Like, it was good. It was good. I put some on my cheeks. Don't worry. Nobody that touched me got glitter on them, which is not always a true statement. And I got compliments on the airport. And we went to the Centurion Lounge, which is like the fancier lounge. If you are military, you get a platinum Amex card and you do not have to pay the fee. And you get Centurion Lounge access, which, if you travel as much as I do, is a lot of free food at airports, which is great, and comfortable chairs, which is also great. And they make really good mocktails, which is lovely as well. But I did not get the looks that I thought I was going to get. And if you're like, well, AJ, you don't even notice anyways. I have blue sparkly hair, and I dressed like I just walked out of a Ren fair on an average day. I know the looks I get. I am aware that I get seen. I get looks more often than the normal people. And my new friends who hang out with me are like, why is everybody looking at us? I'm like, it's, no worries. Just keep walking. It's good. And I don't say that out of like ooh, look at me. It's just more of a statement. When you take up space, people notice. And also, a lot of people don't notice or don't care. So many people aren't thinking of us like we think they are in their head, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody, like the world's going to pause. I'm wearing glitter on my face at an airport. Y'all, it was fine. It was fine. So I got home and I'm like, we did it. And it's wild how daunting it felt before I went to the airport and put on my little, like, I didn't even wear my gold freckles. I just put on a little like sparkly eyeshadow that had like little flakes in it. Does that make sense? On my cheeks. And then I forgot I had it on. Then when I saw myself in the mirror, I was like, oh yeah. But that voice in her brain can get so loud of, oh yeah, but whatever everybody else going to think. And like, you probably shouldn't for those people. And it's like, okay, is that voice our inner critic? Is that your soul nudge? Is that the voice of family? Like, what is that voice? And part of Absurdist Delight and what I'm excited to do is like, yes, obviously we're pushing our joy edges, but that comes down to doing the soul work. There's a phrase I've been saying lately. It's like, come for the glitter, stay for the soul care, the emotional processing. I had a new client come on and she's like, does everybody cry? And I was like, yes, a lot of people cry, but I'm an emotional panda. If I'm happy, I cry. If I'm sad, I cry. If I'm angry, I cry. Tears are just our body's way of expressing things. And when we're linking up our brain, our body, our spirit, our mental and emotional energetic bodies, there's a lot of releasing that has to happen, or things that feel out of place, and acknowledgement, right? And it's not like saying it out loud makes it real. Sometimes there is something to that. And also a lot of times when we say the words, they've been there for a while. It's like when you have a weird piece of meat that's just sitting in your mouth, when you spit it out, it doesn't make it not a weird piece of meat. It was a weird piece of meat the whole time. Are you tracking? And so part of this work is those weird moments of like, should I not? Okay, what, and there was no reason not to. I wasn't signing $1 million deal yesterday. I wasn't going to her wedding, right? But at her wedding, I did put a little shimmery eyeshadow on and it was lovely. And I got compliments. I didn't put it on my cheeks. It wasn't too much. So this isn't even about shrinking down or dimming. It's just, how do you want to show up in the room? Do you see the energetic difference between that question? Because so often the response I get, and I stay with me here, is, okay, but then you're putting on a mask in different rooms, or you're becoming somebody different. No, the idea here is that the ball is in your court to ask you, how would you like to show up today? And you have enough agency to make that choice that is aligned with your soul and stay with it. Make sense? Make sense? So this isn't about shrinking your light, like it is, because that's what we do when we think we're not allowed. When we think, I can't do that. Because that's what we do. We turn on our dimmer switch and we go into rooms and we don't say anything, or we just kind of talk about the thing. Somebody asks us what we're up to. Oh, just running my business. Blah. Am I leading with like, oh yes, I just had like the biggest launch of my entire career and my business is growing at a rate that has me absolutely exploding with excitement and I almost don't even know what to do with myself? No? Okay. Why? Because I don't think it's worthy of sharing? Because I'm embarrassed, because I also do energy work and tarot and sparkles, and people are going to be like, well, that's not a real job. And I don't have that conversation. Do you see, like, that's kind of dimming? That's like our shrinking. Whereas, hey, I'm at a wedding today and I want the focus to be on the bride. And so I'm excited. I'm going to bring all my joy and I'm going to focus it on her. And if people want to talk about my work, I'm just going to be like, oh my gosh, it's going so good. I'm running this whole launch right now about Absurdist Delight and just bringing in joy. And it is so nourishing. And isn't this day joyful? Isn't this amazing? What's bringing you joy lately? What are you loving? Do you see how I'm still bringing myself to the table, but I'm not like this where I'm getting into the nitty gritty of it? We're just choosing, how do we want to show up? What feels most nourishing right now, and staying with that. And instead of second guessing and being like, I shouldn't have talked about work at the wedding. Okay. But it's not like I was like, here's all my numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't get, what is it? Don't cut the forest for the trees. Like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Some people are just like, oh, yes, and it's like, hold, wait, just be with it. Because then you can notice, it's because I'm nervous that if I do bring my whole self, even if it's like a facet that I want to bring to the table, maybe not my whole loud self, whatever, but hey, I just want to be deeply present, embodied. If that is said no to, that's different than if I pretend to be like, oh, yes, everything's fine, da-da-da-da-da. And they say no to that, that's fine, because that's just me masking. That's just me, I don't know, not really being me. Whereas if they say no to me, that can hit harder. Does that make sense? So when we stay with the question of why is this feeling sticky, we can be like, oh, is that true? What's our experience of that? And sometimes we do have true experiences of that, right? This isn't to say, hey, it is always good and dandy to bring your full self in the room. We've got safety. We've got, America's being a hot mess right now. Like, and also has been, but like, it's not always safe to bring your whole self to the table. So I also want to acknowledge that like me being like a little witchy wild woman here in Mississippi, there are times when people are like, God bless you. And I say, have a great day, that I'm not going to repeat back, like, may the goddess bless you as well. Like, maybe some days if I'm feeling very spicy, but I interchangeably use God, spirit, universe, flow. So sometimes I'll just have a blessed day, have a good day, see you later. And sometimes I'm like, not everybody believes in God. Like sometimes I'll say that, but then sometimes I'm just not in the mood because I don't want to have time. I don't have time for it. So like, and that I am white, right? I'm in a straight passing marriage. Like there are a lot of benefits I have of safety as well. And I want to acknowledge that out loud. And my neurospiciness isn't as obvious, perhaps, doesn't impact my relationships as well. But does that make sense of the way I'm able to interact at stores or with people or communication? So there's different levels to this too, of what does your full self look like? But I want us to change out like full self of this like full LARPing idea to I am staying with myself. I am fully myself in my body in whatever room I walk in. Do you see how that's a different energy than this like caricature of my full self of like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to this military pinning on ceremony in my rainbow caftan and my face glitter and my elf ears? No, probably not, because I also want to fit the mood and respect the space. Will I wear a gorgeous like jumpsuit and probably a flowy thing and maybe some sparkly eyeshadow and fun earrings and red lipstick? Yes. But that's me bringing my full self to the table in that room in a way that feels nourishing for me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here's the other part I want to put on this of what's already coming up within 2 days of Absurdist Delight. Today, we got in at like midnight last night, so we didn't get to bed till like 1 a.m. And I woke up and just, you know how it is when you have been in travel season or you pack like the house, I tornadoed a little bit. And so today I was like, let me just clean this up because physical clutter can cause mental clutter, right? And this is coming from somebody who has, I have a tendency to be very messy sometimes. And it's really something I struggle with and something I don't like about myself that I'm actively trying to work on because it stresses me out as well. But I was like, okay, I'm going to take the morning and I'm just going to clean. We're going to unpack everything. We're going to wash things. We're going to strip the beds. We're going to like reset the house. So that way it feels good. It'll feel good for when Jared comes home. But also when I walk into the different rooms, I'm not like, wait, why did I come in here? It's already hard enough to remember the things. It's even harder when there's 7 tasks looking at me in every room I walk in. Does that make sense? So I cleaned the house, was wearing my grungy cleaning clothes, right? And I was like, oh, I want to record a podcast today because it's been a couple weeks. And then I was like, I guess I could just record it. And I was like, oh, what's that energy? And then I was like, oh, and I said I was going to put my elf ears on and my glitter every day. And I was like, I don't really want to. And I was like, what? And remember how we talked about how we have different parts? Like we have pieces of us, right? That feel different ways. And so I'm like, what's going on that we don't want to wear elf ears? Like I'm talking to myself. What's going on that I don't want to wear my elf ears and glitter? And it's just like, look at me. I'm a trash panda. Like I'm just wearing grubby clothes. Like who wants to learn from me? I've already failed. I wasn't even wearing my elf ears yesterday. I was like, oh, ah. So remember how we've talked about Halto in the past? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, overwhelmed. When we are grumpy little grouchy pandas, we're probably hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or overwhelmed. We're at least one of those. And I was like, and my whole tone was like, yes. And I was like, okay. It's 11:30. Let me go get myself some food. So I got myself some tuna and some crackers. I drank some water. I stepped outside for a minute. I stretched and then I put on some more makeup. I took 5 minutes to put on my elf ears. And then I was like, let me put on my glitter. And as I was putting on my elf ears, I literally felt my like me meter going do 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 do. Like I felt do, 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 recharged in real time. Am I still a little tired? Yes. But do I feel night and day from 20 minutes ago when I was in the bathroom? Like, I guess I could talk about traveling and habits. And I was like, not with this energy. No, we're not bringing that to the podcast. Shut that down. I was like, we can talk about this situation on the podcast, but we're not. No, nobody needs that. What's going on? And so a lot of times people are like, oh, AJ, it must be easy for you. But like, it's just a matter of practicing the work of being like, hey, what's here? Okay, loving that part. And then choosing joy, choosing, okay, what do I need here? Okay, do I need a walk? Do I need a nap? Do I need a snack? Do I need an orgasm? Like these are the conversations and the things we ask ourselves, right? Because sometimes we do need a nap and sometimes we don't have time for a nap. So then I just go stand outside for 5 minutes and just like, okay, like sometimes just shifting the atmosphere, getting some water, getting some juice. Honestly, putting on makeup for me, just freshening up or like spray good spray or changing out my clothes can make a difference so fast. And so I just, whether you're in Absurdist Delight or not, side note, we still have 6 months left. You're going to have this come up where you're like, oh, maybe I'll wear this today. And then you're like, not in the mood. Have you seen Inside Out? And you know, you've got all these little gremlins inside, right? It's a little more nuanced than that, but essentially. And then it's your call to say, do you want that part to drive all day? I could have stayed in little angry, weird panda mode and just watched Netflix or whatever and got some stuff done. But I was like, I'm really excited to record the podcast today. And I just need to adjust my energy so that I match the vision I have in my head of how I want to talk and share and be present today. So that the people listening to this feel like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. You know, sometimes it's these little shifts and we think it's got to be this whole big wheel we're turning. And a lot of times it's little moments of deciding, hey, actually, I'm going to take 5 minutes. You know what? I am going to put on my elf ears. And part of me wearing my elf ears and glitter this month and next month, but I did say 30 days, so we'll see if July I choose something different, is to see what comes up. It's literally an experiment for me of how am I feeling? What's coming up? What are the words I'm saying over myself? What are the responses from the outside world? I'm honestly curious what happens when I go grocery store shopping with my elf ears. Honestly, my thought is probably not much. People won't say anything because they don't notice. Or maybe one person will. I don't know. But they'll be like, are you wearing elf ears? And I'll be like, yeah. And they'll be like, cool. And that'll be the end of the discussion. I will put money on it. But I just want to say that, like, if you're struggling with joy, lower the bar, make it easier, make the choices smaller. Don't think of it as this huge, big world thing. And also, side note, at the wedding I went to, it was a Jewish wedding, and there's 10 words for joy. Did you know that? I did not know that. I've been doing joy work for, I don't know, forever. I did not know that. And I am very excited to dive into that. But as he was listing some, right? The joy of a good day's work, the joy of community gathering, the joy of just delight, of silly goofing around. I realized how often we put so much weight on joy, on wonder, on play. If I got to do it right, I got to do it full out, got to do it like AJ. No. I always want you to remember that all of this, all of the work I do is always about pointing you back to you and your soul and what is true for you, what lights you up. How were you created to be? How are you listening to you? That's what Absurdist delight is what does Absurdist delight look like for you? You know, it's going to look different than it is for me. And that's okay. That's okay. Just like when I was helping people create red tents, I was like, I don't need 1,000 AJ red tents. I want red tents that are as unique as the people who make them. I don't need your joy to look like mine. I just want you to know that you have access to joy and that you have the tools to choose it when you desire. And even when I'm not in the mood, you know, that you know, oh, that doesn't have to be the end of this discussion. That's just a little part that's like, I'm just tired and hungry. And you're putting another thing on my list. Come on, work with me, Smalls. And that's when we go, oh, do you need a nap? Do you need a snack? Do you need a moment? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Could we just like start taking ourselves way less seriously? Could we just give ourselves some fucking grace? Ugh. The world is a lot. And you want to add to it? No, we can be nice. We can be playful. We can be gentle with ourselves. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe it doesn't look like wearing glitter on an airplane. That doesn't transfer, don't worry. Maybe it doesn't look like wearing elf ears, but it might look like something for you. So in the comments of this, make your own post, talk to a friend. What is the thing that you are choosing today? What is your joy choice? Is it that you're going to wear clothes that bring you joy today? And when you're like, oh, I don't know if I can wear it, you're going to text your best friend and you're like, I'm wearing the overalls. I'm doing it. I'm being bold. I'm being brave. If you're an Absurdist light, put it in the group chat and be like, I'm doing the thing. And we'll cheer you on because it's easier to calibrate in community. That's why KP and Meant for Magic, it's why I mentioned it, is because those are calibration spaces for who am I? What am I building? What am I working on? When we calibrate together, it just makes magic and it's really cool. So sing your soul song. Have a marvelous, marvelous day, my